Daniel Bryan rumoured to have signed with AEW. According to a report from Cassidy Haynes of Bodyslam.net, Daniel Bryan, aka Bryan Danielson, has found a new home. Reported by a source describing him as 100% locked in with All Elite Wrestling. Haynes further reported that Bryan had been looking at reduced schedules for comparable money that he was making in WWE. Bryan was also looking for creative input regarding his character and the opportunity to work over in Japan. According to Haynes, both conditions were met. A plan is also reportedly in place for Bryan's AEW debut, though where and when is unknown, although there is extra articles here. Bryan has spent the last 11 years with WWE. As per a pre-match stipulation, Bryan's lost banned him from appearing on the SmackDown brand when he last faced Roman Reigns. And it was reported that Bryan's WWE contract had expired days after that, officially making him a free agent. Bryan has made no public comment on his status since then. That's not the only thing that's been popping around as well. There's been a fair bit of stuff here. Mm-hmm. Obviously, alleged allegations, things of that nature. It was noted that Bryan wanted creative input into his character, and the plan was to have him debut on the September 22nd, episode of Dynamite titled Grand Slam. The reason for that is because it will be taking place at Arthur Ashe Stadium, which I believe is where the US Open tennis is, hence the Grand Slam name. And on the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer reported that the biggest factor in Bryan likely signing with AEW was the company's relationship with NJPW, because he's very keen on the idea of working with them. Since then, there's been a multitude of different things that have been said, but it seems to be fairly concrete that Daniel Bryan is jumping to Wednesday nights and to Dynamite and opting not to re-sign with WWE, who he spent the last 11 years with. What do you think, mate? Good fit for Daniel Bryan?
I mean, if it makes him happy, absolutely. That's all that really matters in the end, as long as he's happy.
That's exactly.
Would I watch it? I mean, Daniel Bryan is one of, if not the best wrestler in the world. I mean, he's absolutely in the talk for the top 5 without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, it would give me a reason to watch. I mean, we all know I'm not a huge Dynamite fan. I don't watch a lot of fuckboy wrestling, but Daniel Bryan's an absolute big name. He is, again, one of the best in the world. It's not that AEW doesn't have a talented roster. I think Daniel Bryan could have some incredible matches with some of the AEW stars. And Daniel Bryan in New Japan, yes, please. Just none of those insane Germans on your neck, please, because please no, but also please yes. So this is, if they did this is a coup. Honestly, this is an incredible get by AEW, and I mean, I'm all for it. Honestly,
it is a good get. Yeah. I don't personally think it's the right choice for Daniel Bryan. It wouldn't be where I'd like to see him. It's not necessarily that it's not a right choice for him. I should rephrase that. It's not where I'd like to see him go. I would like to see him go to NJPW actually full time. That's kind of what I would like. My apologies, my camera's all fucked up and delayed, so you have to bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you watching on YouTube, if we bother to put it on YouTube, if we're being honest, it's such a big topic, I might just well splice this bit and put it on YouTube. Yeah, I think it's, it's good for Daniel Bryan, because I know that he won't go there unless he's given the opportunity to work less time, spend more time with his wife, which is obviously very important, and his wonderful children. Or at least child. I'm not sure if he has a second one on the way or not.
I think they have two.
Yeah, I believe so. Either way, good for him. Hopefully he'll get, I imagine, judging by what AEW's been shilling out to people, this is a good pickup. For me, though, there aren't many matches there that I would pay good money to see. Omega versus Daniel Bryan is obviously a big draw, no question, despite my feelings towards Omega. No question that should be a main event draw. Daniel Bryan versus Eddie Kingston, and Daniel Bryan versus Pac, but I have kind of seen some of these matches, or at least certain iterations of it. For me, all the money lies in Daniel Bryan's matches with Tomohiro Ishii and Okada and guys of that nature, who are all not part of AEW. So, yeah, not much I could say really. From a personal standpoint, I would have liked to have seen him return to NXT of all things, just for, if you're going to tell me what are the dream matchups here, Omega versus Bryan is great. What else is there that's really a dream match in AEW? Not much. You know, and especially if you have been watching Daniel Bryan for a long time, particularly as Bryan Danielson when he's the American Dragon. He's actually wrestled a lot of these guys before. You know, I would have liked to have seen him have a full-on barn burner with a Pete Dunne or a Kyle O'Reilly. There are a lot of guys who were really conducive to his style in NXT. That's not just because I'm a big mark for NXT. That is my favorite show, so to speak. It's actually because it just seems like it would have fit better. We could have had one last ride, Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe as well, seeing as Joe is pretty much set to return. But it's a good decision for him, which means that it's a good decision for wrestling, because ultimately, if Daniel Bryan's happy, he's going to put on the best matches. My problem with AEW is their roster is so bloated right now. It's getting more and more bloated. And you can say, oh, we're going to have another fucking YouTube show or whatever. I don't have time to watch them all. I'm not going to watch AEW Dark. I'm not going to watch AEW Dark Elevation. I will watch Dynamite if I feel like it's got something that interests me. Other than that, I'm not going to watch it because that's just too much wrestling. I'll be honest with you, I watch Raw because it entertains you motherfuckers, not because I like watching it. Otherwise, I'd jack Raw in entirely. I love SmackDown. I think SmackDown's great. I think NXT is by far and away the best 2 hours of wrestling, in my opinion. I think Impact is the most underrated and underappreciated wrestling in all the land, which I'm about to speak about. So, yeah, the problem is, yeah, it's great that AEW is picking up some incredible wrestlers and some incredible talents, but you know, the problems are still there and the roster's too big. And, you know, I've seen some of the matches they've been putting on lately and it is such a catch-22. Some of them look great. Other ones, you just think, I don't give a shit. I really don't care. I'm sorry. When they say, like, you know, it's fine. Some of these wrestlers are just not big stars and are not stars that I'm going to pay money to watch. I'm not going to pay money to see Evil Uno or the Dark Order. I'm not. Sorry. I'm not going to pay money to see the majority of your women's division. I'm not going to pay money to see the Young Bucks. I've already seen them anyway. So, you know, it's kind of a one-trick pony. Once I've seen it, I don't need to see it again. The guys that I would pay money to see, Eddie Kingston, Pac, the Lucha Brothers, Proud and Powerful, whatever they're pushing them as now. You know, those guys, they don't seem to have regular fluidity and regular storylines, despite being easily the best talents they have. And that's one of the biggest problems as to why I don't watch it that regularly. But, you know, Daniel Bryan will most certainly bring eyeballs to the product and will most definitely give me more of an inclination to watch.